Hi everyone, I'm Carl Evans, owner of Kris Kringl, the Christmas shop in the Bavarian village of Leavenworth, Washington. We're proud of this small business and that it's been in operation for 34 years. We're excited to continue being a platinum dealer for Mark Roberts. Many of you joining us today have seen firsthand the wide selection of Mark Roberts pieces that we carry each year. I'm thrilled to introduce you to a very special, very experienced guest today. This is someone we had planned to have return to our annual Collectors Night in September, which we unfortunately had to cancel this year. But I'm honored to have him join us virtually, introducing owner and creator, Mark Roberts. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Carl. Well, it is so nice to be in Leavenworth via the internet here. But I love, as you know, I love going to Leavenworth. Why? Because it is this beautiful Bavarian village nestled in the Cascade Mountain Range, which is just stunning. So, and you know what? I happen to like the people of Washington too. It's, you know, they're good people. I've learned that over the many times that I've been there. So I'm great to participate. I'm glad to participate in this way. And hello to all your customers, collectors, and great to see everybody.
Absolutely. And, you know, I consider you as a golden friend and a partner in this business. And thank you again for joining us today. We feel lucky to have you at this time. Something I love about this industry is hearing about connections and traditions people have. So before we get into our agenda, I'd love to hear from you what you like about being an artist and creator for your company.
You know what? Within my business, there's so many different things. You and I have both been in business for so long that, you know, we were young when we started. So we'll leave it at that. But, you know, we've been doing this for so long. But there's so many rewarding things. There's also lots of challenges to it. But what's rewarding is the creative process. And there's a second part to that. And that is the validation or the redeeming factor when collectors tell me after decades that they still love and collect this line. I know that because I too am a collector of my stuff, my fairies. And so I've got the ornament fairy here, which is, I've got to pull him back a little bit. But this is one of my favorites. And what I like about them is putting them all together and making them work. Because, you know, making the piece work, it's not like it happens once and it gets done. It takes many tries to get each piece perfect. I often say before that Mark Roberts label gets sewn on the back of it, I have to approve it. It has to go through, and it goes through, this is why I wear glasses, because I go through so many reviews by myself, you know, putting everything together. And there's only two of us that do all the design work, Jong and I. And so putting it all together is a lot of work for two people. And it's a lot of fun. But the rewarding part is, number one, getting it completed and it gets done and you're really happy with it. It's beautiful. And then number two is really seeing the collectors love the product and just tell me the stories that they tell me. Sometimes they're crazy stories. And I relate to them because I have crazy stories. I have, you know, you can see in the bookshelf behind me, I've got the Peppermint Fairy Girl up there. But, you know, I've got fairies tucked in places in and around my house. I'm a collector of Mark Roberts myself. So I understand that passion. And I love it. So that's what I love about, that's why I've been doing it for so long and keeps me young, I guess.
You say you're a collector of your items, but there's something interesting to your right there. It's a large...
Oh, you know, Carl, you have been to my home only once. I'm in Santa Ana, California, and only once have you been to my home, but you weren't in my office, and you're now virtually in my office. Well, I have told people the truth for decades that I not only know Santa, but that I talk to him. Well, this here is my hotline phone. It's a functioning phone that is a hotline, direct line to the North Pole. I can call and find out if you're on the naughty or the nice list, but I'm not sure. You don't want to know. So anyways, but no, this is a really functional phone. I won't give you the phone number. It's, you know, there is a number I do have to dial. It's a special number, but this is my phone. So there's a little fairy there that's kind of guarding it, because in case the big guy calls, he wants to be the first one to get the call.
So from Santa Ana to the North Pole, direct line.
And not only that, it's a local call. It's not a long distance. It's a local call.
That's perfect. Very, very fun. I know people really appreciate hearing all those stories from you about how your process goes to make all this happen for you. And over the next few minutes, Mark and I will share some more of our favorite 2020 pieces. We'll do a giveaway, and we'll leave you with some tips and tricks for decorating your home this holiday season. So, Mark, let's get started, and I'd love it turned back to you for the folks to hear about your personal favorites that you have created for 2020.
Wow. Well, I'm going to reach behind me and grab a few pieces. Oh, I have to stretch. I'm going to grab first. Let's see if I can get this right. I'm going to move the hotline. I hope Santa doesn't call right now because I'll be in trouble if I don't answer the call. If you hear a funny ring, it's going to sound like this if it rings, but it's a little bit more clankety. But anyways, this is part of the 12 Days of Christmas, the North Pole elves. And I think you have some over your shoulder somewhere up there. But, you know, they're all numbered pieces. And they're numbered in 2 ways. There you go. They're numbered in 2 ways. On the belt, all of them have a golden pear belt with a red glittered number. This is 6. So that means it's the 6 geese a-laying North Pole elf. And what's neat about the North Pole elves is they stand on their own. They don't even have a tube for the stands. And there's just lots of fun details. There's like great colors. I love the traditional Christmas colors. I like some of the fun other colors also, but I love the traditional colors. And great fun pieces. They have like a New Zealand lamb's wool beard. A little bit of tidbit or info there. That's secret info there that comes with them. But they're just really fun pieces. A little design trick that I'll tell you about is that all of the 12 Days of Christmas elves have the exact same feet. And what I do for that is I want to try to tie them together so that you can see them right away. So they all are going to have a beautiful red velvet elf shoe with gold lining and a gold bow, a double Mark Roberts bow. It's never good enough that you put 1 on. You got to put 2 on or more. But you've got a double bow with a jewel on top of it. And that's one of the consistencies that you see on them for the whole collection. So as you're collecting them, just the same as the number on the center, the golden pair with the number on the belt. So that tells you which one it is. So if you forget any of the names, you got a little help with that one. So those are one of my fun ones. I really like the 12 Days of Christmas ones. You still can pose them, by the way. But you find the center of balance, and then they stand all on their own, hands free. He's not leaning on anything. He's listening to me. Now that phone rings, and he's going to jump. I guarantee you that phone rings, and he'll jump. So, but Santa usually doesn't call because I don't even know what time it is at the North Pole right now, but I hear they're having a heat wave right now. So it's like 30 or something up there.
Yeah, kind of like Santa Ana.
When we have heat waves, they're 130. Yeah. So, another one that I love is this sweet little North Pole elf. Shame on me. I've got to look at her name because I forgot it. The Joyful Elf. Okay, there she is. Look at you, Carl. Wow, are you prepared tonight? That is great. So you have the medium size, and I have the small size in my hand. But what's so wonderful about her is the colors. Well, this to me is still traditional with the icy blues and whites and mint colors and gorgeous colors. It's also kind of fresh and timeless, or timely at this, not timeless, but timely. Some kind of cool, fresh colors that are great for the winter. So very sweet. Look at her hat also, the nice details on the hat. So you've got 3 layers on the hat, 4 layers on the hat, excuse me. There's all sorts of different little 4 or 5 different layers. When you collect a Mark Roberts piece, that's, I think, part of the joy of it. And even, this is for me, is seeing all the detail on them. And, I'm putting together product all the time. And so it's never done until it's done. And it takes a lot to put them all together to make them so detailed and special, because we're always adding something here, putting something there. Well, maybe we could do an extra layer. We only do it if it works. I don't do it just to add it and make it heavy. And, there's a elegance to it. At the end of the day, they have to be elegant. They have to be detailed. And so I remember a woman came to me at one of the signing events, I believe at your store there in Leavenworth, and asked me, how do I know if it's a Mark Roberts piece? And I said, just look at the detail. If it has lots of details, you're probably pretty certain that it is. If it's pretty simple, there's very few trimmings, there's not much detail on it, then it's not a Mark Roberts piece, and it's really it's not, I wouldn't call it a designer piece. It may be beautiful, but I wouldn't call it a designer piece. Let's put it that way. So, you know, anyways, but she's fun. And what I like about her is that it was a challenge for the many years that I had been doing this, the many, many, many years back when I was young, to get the girls. I couldn't get them right. It took a long time. But now, I guess I've gotten it right. I figured out how to get the faces just right on them, because the faces have to be cute. They can't be as quirky as a boy's face. For whatever reason, a boy's face or a male face can look a little bit quirky, and we love it. But if it's a girl's face and it's too quirky, we don't like it. So it took me some time to get that right. But
well, I think you have.
Yeah, they've become very, very popular. They're beautiful faces. They have personality on them. They have charm, and yet there's a little bit of just a tiny amount of quirk that just makes them very cool.
Well, I've got a couple that I wanted to talk about in these wonderful times that we are. This guy is the New Year's fairy, or elf. I guess he's an elf.
He's a fairy. That's a fairy. He's got wings.
You are correct. Oh, you're correct. Oops, I didn't spread them out. That's why. There you go. Now you can see things. But anyway, looking past this 2020 year into 21, I mean, he's pretty excited. He's got his bright pink arms and those great golden striped legs. But having that clock tick forward, and hopefully we get into the new year and look forward to 2021. Not that 2020 hasn't been a good year. Sometimes we look towards the bah humbug, but you look at his face, and he's pretty happy, don't you think, for the bah humbug guy?
He is very happy, and he's having a lot of fun, for sure.
It's a lot of fun. Yep. And this 2020 year is, you know, there are silver linings in it. Things like this, all of the magical things that you produce. In my family, this year is the first year in a long time that all four of my kids, Jessica, Caitlin, Gavin, Megan, will be home for Christmas. So that's pretty exciting.
Wow, that's great.
I know that all of our collectors have good things to share, and that's what we need to look forward to this season.
Absolutely. You know, Christmas is a time of gathering, for sure. So we do gather, and it gives us an opportunity to gather more so this year than maybe other years, because we're not going to be all out traveling nearly as much. And I think what we have found, all of us have found out, is that as we're home more, we're nesting more, which meaning we're feathering our nest with more. We're making our home more inviting because we're here. We're living in it. And so I spend more time. I'm in my home right now. I'm in my office inside my home. I'm not at my work. I spend more time at home decorating and doing things and making it look beautiful and everything. And so I think that's one of our releases, is that since some of us are cooped up, some of us are not, but we're definitely home more than we've been. We're making it more homey, more charming, and more wonderful. So it's fun. It's fun to do that.
It's very fun. So we're going to move ahead a little bit and move into an exciting part of our event this evening. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we have a new website. It is kriskringl.com, and all of Mark Roberts' items are on there that we carry. So it would be kriskringl.com/Mark Roberts. So we'll get right to all of Mark's items there. And so at this point, let's do a giveaway. In appreciation of all of you joining us today, we want to give you a delivery to look forward to. So Mark, would you like to tell them what they can win?
Well, we talked about doing the 12 Days of Christmas. First of all, there's many people I know that are collecting the 12 Days of Christmas North Pole elves. And so the first 6 have been released over last year. The first 3 were released. There they go. First 3 were released last year, and the second 3 are released this year. So we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That looks like you have number 2 in your hand. Mm-hmm. That's great. So we're going to be doing 1 of each. So there'll be 6. I guess you can have 6 different chances to win. Yep. So we'll do those, and I'm going to sign those. I'll sign them on the hand, and 1 through 6. So I'm not sure how you're going to give them away, but and do the drawings. But your events are always big, special events. So yeah, this will be fun.
Like people do during this event, they can just email in and give us an idea of what you would like to see produced, maybe a name, maybe a color, maybe a style, of to give you some ideas of what your collectors would like. And that automatically enters them in to win. And we'll do drawings from that and pick 1 through 6 and give those away.
So Carl, that's a great idea. And I can share a little bit of history with you and your collectors. And this will hopefully inspire some to do just this. I had dinner many years ago with a retailer at my condo in Atlanta. I do have a place in Atlanta for when I stay there. So my main home is in California. But they wanted to have dinner with me. It's husband and wife. And so I said, it's fine. Come on up to my condo. We'll make dinner. I like to cook. And so I put the key in the door and I stopped and I turned around and I said, now wait a minute. You're not getting a free dinner with me. You're going to have to earn it. So we're going to have to brainstorm tonight and come up with at least one name for a new fairy.
Oh, you've done that to me.
And I have. And the husband, he's an old curmudgeon, he looked over at his wife and he went, bah, humbug. And I said, by God, that's it. And that was the original humbug fairy. Was from at least 10 years ago. But Bill Goodman from Memphis, Tennessee, scowled bah humbug to me, and that's all it took was the name. And from there, we're able to develop, the humbug fairy and the bah humbug fairy and the different characters around that. And so I would love to hear from your collectors some of the different long stories or short stories. So that would be great. That's how it starts, is with a name.
Okay, before we wrap up with you, Mark, I'm hoping that you might share some of your own tips. I know I've been to your home and you decorate amazingly. And if you have any tricks or ideas that you can give our customers that they can use to decorate for the holidays?
I think a couple things, simple things. Number one, don't be afraid. Just do it. You can always ask for forgiveness later, but just do it. And don't be afraid to try different stuff. Whether it is, I'm looking around to see, whether it is, if you want to, I'm going to move the hotline for a minute because I need the books that it's sitting on. So let me move Santa's phone for a minute here. But if you don't be afraid to fluff my fairies, because, for example, I like to do this. People see me. You won't break them, but go ahead and pose them in fun poses. Don't be afraid to try. You're not going to hurt them. And I can hardly see that, so I'm going to hold it up. The wonders of the internet these days. But, here he is posed. He's laying down. Imagine him on the bookshelf behind me, laying down just as easily. Pose them. They're posable. They are detailed, and there's a lot of stuff on them. You're not going to break it off. If something happens to pop off, a hot glue gun will take care of that really easily. But you can do different things with them to pose them. Once you've done that, you then can place them in different spots. I have in my kitchen, my vent or my hood over my stove. It's flat. I had that built that way so I could put stuff on it. Go figure. So right now I have a Mark Roberts witch because we're filming this right around Halloween, but this is going to happen. It's going to go. But as soon as that Halloween is over, I'm going to put an elf up there. But I like to put stuff up there. So I have some Mackenzie Child's little pots with some topiaries in them, and then I've got a witch up there. I'll put an elf up there later. I'll put a spring fairy up there in the spring. And it's just kind of looking down over us. I put them in different places. I hang the small fairies from different parts of the lamps, which is fun. When I want to have real fun, and I know people are coming over, I will take the larger size pieces like this size elf, and I will literally gather the curtains, and I'll have him holding the curtains back, and he's holding the curtains. So you can do different things and animate your home in a way that people start looking at it and it makes them laugh, and it starts a conversation. Your home doesn't have to be decorated like it's a movie set and it has all this perfection. Of course we can if we want to do that, but you can also just have fun with these pieces and put them in fun, unexpected places and ways. You can do lots of different things with them. I keep some. I actually have one in my, I'll call it the powder room, but the guest bathroom downstairs. And he's leaning against. I've got a little lamp in there, so he's leaning against the lamp, and he's kind of leaning in a funny way, almost like he's like, "Huh? Did you wash your hands?" And the whole point is to create the unexpected and create the whimsy and you want to have conversations and people happy when they come over. And you always need to take care of yourself also. You always want to enjoy. I mean, I love walking in and seeing, this elf looking down at me, or, the daffodil fairy, that I've had for 100 years, that I get out every spring, and put it on my countertop during the spring. And I put it next to a thing in my kitchen. So there's lots of different things that you can do. Cinnamon wreaths. Laura does fabulous wreaths at your store. My goodness, what a great way to add to a wreath is to put one of the characters in. There's just so many different things that you can do. So I think it's just have fun and do it and enjoy. That's my secret.
So anyway, thank you for sharing those. I think those are fantastic. A lot of good things. I love the curtain one. I never even thought about that one. At this point, I want to just say thank you so much, Mark, for spending the time with us, and everybody at Mark Roberts working with you and all of your crew. It's been a delight over the years. And we're excited for everybody to explore the new 2020 pieces, again, at kriskringl.com/Mark Roberts. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and hope to see you again next week for another virtual event. And we'll see you real soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. It was great. Thanks, people. Good seeing you.